Hello, my friend, and welcome to Wisdom Trek. This is Guthrie Chamberlain, and I'm your guide to wisdom and creating a living legacy. Thank you for joining us for our 7-day-a-week, 7 Minutes of Wisdom podcast. This is day 271 of our trek, and for the past 3 days on our hike, we used the simile of how life is like a seed. Today, we're going to focus on the load that we carry on our trek of life each day. So I want to ask you, how heavy is your backpack? If you do miss any of the days of our Wisdom Trek episodes, please go to wisdom-trek.com to listen to them and to read the daily journal. We are recording our podcast from our studios at the Big House in Marietta, Ohio. On our daily trek called Life, the hills that we climb, the twists and turns of the path that we face, and the steep slopes that we find ourselves on can be challenging and very interesting. On the home front for us, we have come across one of those situations. Paula's mom asked on Tuesday why the furnace was blowing only cold air. Since our office is upstairs and the temperatures have been a bit mild, I really had not noticed it. But upon investigating, I discovered the flame was not lighting in the furnace, although the blower continued to run. So I called the company that we purchased it from, and unfortunately, the heat exchanger is cracked and was causing it to overheat and shut off the flame. A more serious situation is that it can also leak carbon monoxide. Since the furnace is over 20 years old, we will have to replace the entire unit. Now this is a major expense that we had not anticipated, so it will take some time to be extra frugal in order to cover the cost. Although this is something extra in our backpack of life that will burden us for a while, we have learned over the years that it is best to take life as it is and not how we wished it were. The positive aspect of this is we will have a more efficient furnace that will heat the house better. If we are not careful with this trek through life, we will allow our backpack to become full of cares and concerns that weigh us down and causes us issues. So today as we start up the trail, I want to ask you, how heavy is your backpack? Imagine carrying a backpack filled with rocks everywhere that you go. Now that would be exhausting. It gives a new meaning to the phrase, doing the heavy lifting. If the weight of that backpack seems too much to bear, just imagine the impact of emotional baggage that we carry each day. Think about it. We fear getting fired. We complain about the service that we received. We express disgust over the politics of the nation. We envy the person next door. We worry about meeting deadlines. We discredit our colleagues for stealing the promotion that we thought we should have. Emotional baggage? You bet it is. Now ask yourself, what do we gain by gossiping about a colleague, bad-mouthing politicians, or ranting about our frustrations on Facebook? The answer? We get upset with little to show for our efforts. It's as though if we believe that if we gossip, rant, and rave loud enough and often enough, people will accept our way of thinking. The truth is, most people don't care. Besides being a colossal waste of time, nothing really changes, except that we're not much fun to be around. And who really needs that? Even when we don't overtly express our negative feelings about worry, prejudice, fear, criticism, guilt, anger, and envy, we play out these dramas in our head like a chess master plotting his next move. These negative thoughts race through our minds like a whirlwind, making us more and more anxious each time we revisit them. In fact, some people get so overwhelmed and depressed that they worry themselves into a frenzy, making it tough to concentrate during the day and causing sleep issues at night. Taking it to the extreme, emotional baggage can be absolutely debilitating if not controlled. In the days gone by, when we had a labor-intensive society, hard work resulted in tired bones and sore muscles by the end of the day. In our information age, though, our bodies tell us that enough is enough by reacting to stress-related elements ranging from headaches to backaches to anxiety attacks. And over time, these stresses do add up and cause a toll on our bodies. The bottom line is that the emotional tirades are unproductive, unhealthy, and exhausting. They cause us to lose focus, to snap at people that we really care about, and to waste precious time because we're stuck playing these ridiculous mind games. No wonder we're exhausted most of the time. So let's look at taking a load off your mind. Here are some simple suggestions to reduce your emotional baggage masquerading as worry, prejudice, fear, criticism, guilt, envy, and anger. First one is some food for thought. One of the first steps that people take when they're trying to lose weight is writing down the food that they eat each day. It is surprising to see it in writing and represents an important motivator toward changing eating habits. By listing our negative thoughts that cross our minds each day, we can use the same technique to reduce our emotional baggage. The second point is, keep it positive. Cautious thinking isn't always bad. In fact, having some fear and worry keeps us on our toes and forces us to prepare early and encourage you to anticipate future events by asking yourself, what if? That can actually be positive. On the other hand, when emotional baggage makes you angry, increases your anxiety, or overwhelms you, it's a negative that we need to avoid. Number 3 is that a fact? It is very helpful to determine if the assumptions behind our fears, worries, and prejudices, etc., are factual and realistic. When you're tired, emotional, or under stress, negative thoughts can spiral out of control and ruin your day, even if the premise behind your anxiety is really far-fetched. And that is a fact. Number 4 is, the sky is falling. How often do our fears and worries actually come true? If they rarely come to fruition, why are we getting all worked up about it? The odds are that we would have a better chance of getting hit by lightning than what we're actually worrying about. The 5th is, make it happen. Many situations involve matters beyond our control. If you can't affect the outcome, you might as well enjoy your day. Even a Herculean effort won't make a difference. Therefore, if there is a problem that's waking you up at 3 a.m. and you can do something to make it better, do it, even at that hour. If not, it's better to forget about it and get some sleep. Deal with it in the morning. And if it's truly beyond your control, then all the worry and sleeplessness won't change the situation one bit. It's time to put the worry behind you and to move on. And the 6th and final point is, will it even matter? Some situations do appear even larger than life, yet in hindsight they seem inconsequential. The key is to gauge the issue beforehand. A simple test is to ask yourself whether you'll even remember this problem in a year or two. If not, it may be a trivial issue and unworthy of your concern. So we want to look at breaking free from your backpack. It's unfair to assume that it is easy to unpack your emotional baggage that we've accumulated over a lifetime, but Romans chapter 6 verse 8 tells us, so letting your sinful nature control your mind leads to death, but letting the Spirit control your mind leads to life and peace. With this in mind, it's vital to take control of our lives, but to be realistic about it. The anxieties that we create in our minds is often much worse than reality. We worry about impressing our friends when the truth is that real friends remain good friends even in good times and bad. We worry about being late for a meeting. If we are, it won't change mankind. We also get angry waiting at home all day for a delivery person, and this too shall pass. The truth is, in most cases, life goes on. You do have the power to make yourself happy or miserable during your life's journey. There are very few times in life where we hit our walls so hard that we don't recover from it. So pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and move on. The difference is if you take a pledge to be positive and start lightening your backpack, you're going to lead a happier, healthier, and more fulfilling life. When you change your thoughts, you change your world. As we consider these concepts today, let me ask you, how can you lighten your backpack today? We need to learn how to travel light and to leave the unneeded emotional baggage behind us. Tomorrow on our trek, we will explore about wandering in the wilderness of faith. So encourage your family and friends to join us, and then come along with us tomorrow for another day of Wisdom Trek, Creating a Legacy. That will finish our podcast for today. Just as you enjoy these daily doses of wisdom, I would ask you to help us to grow Wisdom Trek by sharing it with your family and friends through Facebook, email, Twitter, or in person as you meet with them, and invite them to come along with us each day. The journal for today's trek can be found at wisdom-trek.com. Thank you so much for allowing me to be your guide, your mentor, but most importantly, you are my friend, as I serve you through the Wisdom Trek podcast and journal each day. As we take this trek together, let us always live abundantly, love unconditionally, listen intentionally, learn continuously, lend to others generously, lead with integrity, and leave a living legacy each day. This is Guthrie Chamberlain reminding you to keep moving forward, enjoy your journey, and then create a great day every day. See you tomorrow.